Welcome back to Eat Sleep Boxing Pete's YouTube channel. We are back for another boxing betting tips show. Nice to be joined by Danny this week. Paul is away playing golf. Danny, thank you for stepping in. How are you?
No problem at all, mate. All's good. Hopefully I can step into Paul's massive shoes with the betting show.
Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. We'll do the show today, then all will be revealed on Saturday night. I know you're going to be there representing ESBR ringside. Yeah, you looking forward to it?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Liverpool, great city for fight week. Really passionate crowd, great card as well. I think one of the best sort of domestic ones in a while. So yeah, buzzing for it.
Good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, always interested to your opinions, Paul's opinions on where the value is. Get straight into it. What is your first tip for this weekend?
So we'll start with the main event and work down, I think. So the first one is what I hope, well, you say safe, there's nothing safe, but it's the shortest price anyway. And it's Liam Smith to stop Hassan Mwakinyo in rounds 7 to 12. So in the second half of the fight. It's just sort of my go-to bet with Liam Smith fights, to be honest. It's just he's got that style, like slowly grinding a fighter down. We saw that against Jesse Vargas, Anthony Fowler. It landed as well, and I think Mwakinyo will have enough to sort of, Smith's never reckless anyway, but I think Mwakinyo will have enough to sort of give him something to think about those early rounds. Obviously, he's known as a bit of a puncher. We've spoke a lot about the Sam Egerton knockout. He's also a southpaw as well, which might give Smith a bit extra to think about, but it's just such a huge step up in levels from Mwakinyo. I mean, he's been fighting solely in Africa since that Sam Egerton win. I know he beat Ndongo, but sort of a shell of Ndongo. So I think Smith will get them at some point, and I think the second half of the fight's the most likely stage he gets. And you can get that at 11 to 8 with Sky Bet.
Yeah, good stuff. I think that would be most people's predictions here. I think that Liam Smith, obviously the stoppage against Jesse Vargas was impressive, and stopping against Anthony Fowler was impressive. And obviously Anthony Fowler had never been stopped before, and neither Jesse Vargas and Liam Smith stopped both of them. And both of those stoppages were in the second half of the fight as well. So yeah, I think, to be honest, like, it's not an amazing price, but I'm surprised the price is that good when you can consider that's the most, like, you would think that was the most likely outcome.
Yeah.
But we will see. I think it is an intriguing main event. Don't get me wrong. Like, for Mwakinyo, it's a massive step up in class, but it's your typical, is Liam Smith overseeing him? Because I think that, in my opinion, this is possibly the last hurdle before a world title shot, or at least like a massive fight for Liam Smith. And it's an obstacle against someone who can punch as well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's an intriguing one. I think that if you wanted to back an underdog, I think Mwakinyo via stoppage. I know it might seem unlikely, but I reckon there's some good odds there, as there are when kind of foreigners come to the UK.
Yeah, definitely. I think I would agree with what you said. I think it's probably more likely that Liam Smith does fight for a world title as his next big fight. He's well ranked with both governing bodies. I think that Eubank fight's been and gone, to be honest. And he's not really the type to take fighters lightly. But as you say, you always get an amazing price on a sort of unheralded foreigner coming over to the UK, especially for a stoppage. So yeah, it'd be a big return.
Yeah, big time. All right, well, moving swiftly on, what's your second tip for this weekend?
So we're going, I'm nearly sure this is the co-main event, Natasha Jonas versus Patricia Bergholt. Apologies for the pronunciation. I think Natasha Jonas looked, so strong up in weight for the first time. I know she's listed as, super welterweight, but sort of comes in around that 148, 149. Bergholt, decent amateur, beat Lauren Price, obviously Simon Scano, boxed Kaylee Taylor. Not too much footage available of her in the professional ranks. Was only able to find one fight from a while ago, and I really wasn't impressed. Going through a record, I don't think she's been in with any sort of puncher, and Natasha Jonas has got one of the highest knockout percentages in female boxing. You'll think she's 8 from 11. So with that in mind, and looking for value as we always do, backing Natasha Jonas to stop Patricia Bergholt, which you can get at 11 to 4 a game with Sky Bet. I mean, the knockout last time out to win the world title was, you don't see many like it in women's boxing. Bergholt might prove trickier to find than Natasha Jonas' last opponent, but I can see Natasha Jonas getting there, and obviously the sort of added fire that fighting in Liverpool in front of that crowd will give. I can see her getting the Bergholt, and I think 11-4 is a good price for her to do so.
I agree. I think Jonas obviously won her last fight by stoppage, and so to win a to be a woman, to win a world title via stoppage, isn't a regular thing. Yeah. It's interesting to discuss the weights because obviously Jonas went up so many weights and is still very competitive and is clearly bringing her power up to that weight as well. Berghout, I know she was scheduled to fight Cecilia Brackhouse recently, and that fight fell through. Obviously she was the massive underdog there, and I think she's a bit of the unknown. I just feel like I'm a big fan of Natasha Jonas. I think as a person, as a fighter as well, I think she's very, very good. If you consider on her record, she's got a very close loss to Katie Taylor and a draw against Terry Harper, which a lot of people thought she won. I do rate her very highly. So I think that's a better tip than the first one, if I'm honest, mate. I like that. If I could only pick one to put money on, I would probably pick that. I think 11-4. Natasha Jonas to win by KO is a great price.
Yeah, and you mentioned that Katie Taylor fight. She sort of had Katie Taylor hurt at points in that fight as well. You touched on the weight. I think she was more sort of forcing herself down to that weight because that's just where all the fights were for her. Whereas, now she's realised 38 now. It's sort of past the point of diminishing returns, making that weight. And as I say, I think she looked really, really strong last time out. Don't think Bergholt's going to have any she'll probably have a bigger reach, but they're both listed as 5'8", 5'8.5". And I'm looking forward to that fight, and hopefully looking forward to the bet coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you got one more for us?
I've got one more for you, mate. One more for you. This is from the Dan Aziz Shakan Pitters fight for the British title. Cracking fight, by the way. This is the biggest price of them all, and it's I was thinking of going just Aziz KO, but only available at 4-5. So I've gone Dan Aziz to stop Shakan Pitters and 1-6 first half of the fight, which you can get at 5-1. I think Aziz is great. He's so entertaining. The sort of thinking for it comes from more on Pitter's end. His last time out against Reece Cartwright, who, no disrespect, not on the level of Dan Aziz. We saw that when Aziz stopped him last time out. Cartwright was able to push Pitter's back, in the really early stages of that fight, had him up against the ropes, and only sort of for a lack of explosivity and that physical strength that he wasn't able to do serious damage, which Dan Aziz obviously has in abundance. Going back to the Craig Richards fight, obviously a long time ago now. Craig Richards obviously a very good fighter, but he had his most joy against Pitters when he was sort of on the front foot, pushing him back, and that's not even really Craig Richards' style. And it's definitely Dan Aziz's style. For my money, Aziz punches harder than Craig Richards. He's more suited to be in a pressure fighter than Craig Richards. And I think just the dimensions, Pitters is listed as 6'6". I'm not sure what height Dan Aziz is off the top of my head. I would imagine 6 foot, 6'1", something like that.
Yeah, seeing him fight, I would say 5'11", 6 foot. Yeah.
I think Pitters is made from to be honest. I don't think Pitters has quite enough power to keep Aziz off him. It's just a question of whether it happens in the first half of the fight or the second half, in my opinion. And I think the 5-1 in the first half is a great price.
Yeah, no, you sound very confident. You've convinced me that's for sure. Some great tips there, mate. I think credit where credit's due. I think it's a boxer show that could potentially be very good. And I'm not saying I just feel like having an Aziz Pitters fight on the undercard does make a lot of difference. If you consider perhaps the other two fights we mentioned could be mismatches. And it's understandable. Jonas, she's still trying to unify the division. Liam Smith needs a fight in the meantime before he goes on to a world title fight. So I accept those fights, but this card needed a British title, an English title fight that kind of gets people talking. I think that's this fight. I do think Pitters, if he can be sensible, has a good chance of winning this. But I would still pick Aziz. I'm still with you. I'm still picking Aziz. I just think if you consider Piss is 6'6" tall, and how, if you look at how he's won some of his fights in previously in his career, I think the Dex Spellman victory over 10 rounds stands out as well. However, like, Dex Spellman's not Dan Aziz, so I kind of accept that. But no, I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. Last but not least, Danny, are you able to put those 3 bets in a treble for us?
You can do, mate. Obviously, huge returns, pays out at 55 to 1 treble. So obviously I wouldn't go sticking your mortgage on it, but I'll probably do the singles, maybe the doubles and the treble as well. So I'd like to think there's a winner in there somewhere.
Yeah, see how it goes. Okay, cool. Looking forward to reviewing how these get on. Enjoy the show on Saturday, mate. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me, and we'll definitely speak soon. Okay.
No problem at all, mate. Thanks a million. Cheers.